can now turn to Greg Dell with the Maryland Farm Bureau.
Thank you for the opportunity, Mr. Chairman and the committee. I'd like to introduce myself. As the chairman said, my name is Greg Dell. My family farms in Westminster and Carroll County, Maryland. We raise corn, soybeans, and sorghum, and we also buy and sell grain from local producers at our elevator, which we in turn supply a lot of the chicken industry in the state, which brings me to the point that Ms. Brown touched on a lot of things that the Farm Bureau, who I'm here to represent, has in their arsenal for looking at here in the future. As Ms. Brown also said, we have solar on our farm. We installed it 2 years ago on a building, and the Farm Bureau most definitely understands the need to meet the goals for renewable energy. As I understand, it's 50% renewable by 2031, but we definitely do not want to see farmland take the brunt of that. There are many other avenues for solar to be applied to. Just as I talked about, we put it on an existing building where the structure was able to handle that extra weight on the roof. There's also brownfields. Let's see here. Brownfields, rooftops, parking lots, and urban areas that could 100% be used to assist in the clean energy mandate. We strongly oppose placing these commercial facilities on Class 1 and 2 agricultural soils and reject labeling them as agricultural activities. Mainly because of the loss of acreage. We obviously grow a lot of crops to provide for a lot of chickens. Just as Ms. Brown said, one farm can produce enough chickens to supply Camden Yards for a year. So we have our due diligence to keep these animals fed. And when looking at putting these projects on prime and productive farmland, as of now, there is no certainty as to the whether the land can be returned to agriculture after the expiration of the solar project. Farm Bureau also supports urban agriculture in Maryland. We hope to see it grow and help with the issue of food deserts in parts of the state. Last year, House Bill 152, the Urban Agricultural Grant Programs, was passed, giving urban agriculture a much-needed funding opportunity. The members of Maryland Farm Bureau support the expansions of urban farming and agriculture and creation of a clear pathway for land ownership for urban farmers. They have been, urban farmers have been a huge part of Maryland Farm Bureau and a growing part of Maryland Farm Bureau and Maryland agriculture in general. They've made a lot of strides in how they operate and the projects that they're doing within their communities. It definitely invites you all to go any chance you get to visit an urban farm. They're quite the feat to see. Next on the list, we have agricultural property assessments. We've seen some problems with ag properties being reassessed. It was brought to our attention when actually a board member for Maryland Farm Bureau had a 100% increase in his assessment for a pole barn used to store hay, which in turn obviously changed his tax equation quite a bit. In looking into this, the Farm Bureau discovered that over 1,100 properties in Maryland saw assessments raised by at least 25%, with some of facing increases of up to 600%. Maryland's farmers operate in a landscape of tight profit margins. We just talked about market prices going down, and input prices are still rotting the COVID highs. Some farmers have turned to value-added agriculture, and that has changed the landscape of their farms slightly, and in SDAT's eyes has changed their tax assessment. We to navigate these tax assessment or navigate through this, we cannot, or the challenges that we have, we cannot really take on the changes in tax assessments on these farms that, especially of up to 600%. That is a huge change in a person's profit margin when you look at future risks and things like that. And obviously keeps it hard to, or makes it hard to keep a family farm operational when, you know, you're looking to move forward and make value-added changes in your operation. I don't really think there's much more to touch on for me. As we've said, their margins are tight. They're always tight. For us, it seems like we operate very stingy with our commodities, because it's all buy retail or buy wholesale, sell retail, or vice versa. I'm sorry. And but we look forward to working with you all and hope, you know, for a bright 2024. And I really appreciate the opportunity to chat with you and bring forward our problems.